Hi Aries, and welcome into your Saturn in Aquarius tarot reading. Saturn is all about karma, blessings, and the rewards that come from learning and growing and evolving. And Saturn has been in the sign of Capricorn, 10th house energy, from December of 2017 and is now going to be shifting into Aquarius March 21st, 2020. So there's two things going on with this shifting of Saturn going from Capricorn into Aquarius. You're going to start a new cycle of energy as, new lessons, new karma, as well as receiving rewards from the cycle you've been in while Saturn has been in Capricorn. So as you're shifting into Aquarius, you're entering a new cycle and you're also receiving rewards from, different things you've learned and gained while Saturn was in Capricorn. However, Saturn is going to go retrograde in May and it's going to slip back into slip back into Capricorn. And when that happens, it's for you to have a second chance at things, really, because as Saturn moves into Aquarius, your insights, your clarity, answers, epiphanies, understanding, all of those things start unfolding for you with that shifting of energy. And then as Saturn goes retrograde, everything you were working on, in the cycle of Saturn through Capricorn, which is really building yourself, a lot of hard work and effort, and some of you could have been like a lot of lessons attached to that as well. As you've been working through that, you get the new answers as Saturn moves into Aquarius. And then when we go retrograde, it's like the old energy shows back up in your life. It's time for a second chance to make a different choice. Also, a lot of your reward from everything that you did accomplish and achieve through that Saturn Capricorn transit will be unfolding through that retrograde, okay? And then when do we go direct? Let me see. We go direct, Saturn goes direct on September 28th, 29th, just depending on where you live in the world. And then it finally gets back into Aquarius in December of 2020. And so from December 2020 all the way through the rest of its transit in Aquarius to March 2023, you're working with new energy, okay? So let's pull an archangel and see which archangel is trying to help you wrap up your Saturn Capricorn cycle and usher you into your Saturn Aquarius cycle. And if you have a natal Saturn and Aquarius in your chart, this will be a very powerful transit for you. Okay, so we have Archangel Samuel and we have reconciliation. So there's big time second chance, second go round type of energy for you guys once Saturn goes retrograde. So from March to May, there's a lot of clarity and insight that's going to, just take place within you about whatever it is you were working on with that Saturn Capricorn transit. And that was different for each of you. You all have different natal charts, okay? But now it's time to receive the answers, the understanding, the reconciling of all events and energies in the way that they're all connected. So March through May is big time coming into clarity and understanding and see how everything fits. And Archangel Samuel is working with you to help align you to reconciliation, second chances, and those rewards that you're owed from all the hard work that you've done, once Saturn goes retrograde. So this is really powerful for Aries. Now let's pull a card and see which area of your life this is most likely to impact. And again, this is just a general reading. Where Saturn is natally in your chart is everything. Look up the, information about the house it occupies, the sign it occupies, and then apply this reading to that. All right, so we've got 7th house going on, which is all about relationships, okay? And I guess I'm not surprised with the reconciliation there. But with that coming out, there is going to be a big focus of understanding about relationships in your life March through May, and that's romances, friendships, family connections, coworkers, just really understanding the dynamics and seeing why certain things happened or didn't happen from a different perspective. And I'm sorry if you hear that noise. My kitty knows how to get into my cabinets, and he likes to get in and let himself out. So I'm sorry if you hear that. He's the craziest cat I have ever owned. Anyways, Aries, it's all about relationships. And so once Saturn goes retrograde in May, and then, enters, let's see, and then Saturn goes back into Capricorn in July. So around July, which is the 7th month, you got that 7th house. That's when things will really start returning to you from that Capricorn Saturn transit, okay? And this brings back people a big time. I mean, this is a focus of relationships, and again, this is all relationships in your life. There's gonna be reconciliations, and you have a chance to make a different choice or do things differently than you did the last time go round. All right, let's see what other planet is highly impactual to this Saturn through Aquarius transit for you guys. Okay, so we have the moon. And this coming out tells me, Aries, that this is a process for you guys. You feel it really intensely. So again, I highly recommend seeing where your natal Saturn is in your chart, because that's the house, the area that's going to be most impacted. And there's a connection of relationships to that. So, if it's like 4th house is where your Saturn is, that is family all day. If it's 8th house, that could be, romantic connections. If it's 11th house, that's your friendships. Okay, so it's different for each of you, but with the moon coming out, it's going to be a pretty intense time. And also the eclipses, Aries, are highly significant along with this Saturn transit through Aquarius and then the retrograde back into Capricorn. There's a lot that's shifting and changing inside of you, especially in the emotional department. And let's see, we have the full moon, Sagittarius full moon eclipse on June 5th. We have the new moon in Cancer solar eclipse on June 20th through 21st. We have the full moon eclipse in Capricorn on July 4th, 5th. And we have a full moon lunar eclipse in Gemini in late November 29th and 30th. And then we also have a new moon total solar eclipse taking place in Sagittarius on December 14th, okay? And Saturn moves back into Aquarius on December 17th. So those eclipses, and I named them all off for you, rewind the video and write them all down, are going to be very impactful for you guys. And that's like a lot of truth coming forward, big changes and shifting taking place in your life. All right, so Saturn transit through Aquarius has a lot to do with the eclipses, big changes for you guys, especially around relationships, okay? And by December, things really, I feel, are more solid and solidified for you around relationships. A lot of emotional baggage healed. You're learning life lessons, like it's just all incorporating into your conscious mind and you're evolving. All right, let's look at another zodiac sign, and this could be a person who is highly involved in all of this energy for you, their sign, or this could say the energy of this sign in general is also impactful for you. So let's see what's coming through. And we have Taurus. So Taurus is, I believe, April 20th to May 20th. That's a powerful time for you in 2020, in 2021, and 2022. And then in 2023, right before April, Saturn is moving into Pisces. So with this, when the sun is in Taurus, is a very significant and powerful time for you guys. Also, when the moon is in Taurus, a full Taurus moon or a new moon in Taurus, those are significant timings for you guys. So again, look that up when that's taking place throughout this year. I know the new moon in Taurus is probably at the very end of April, first part of May, and then the full moon, gosh, I can't. It's going to be later in the year. I don't know right off the top of my head. I'm sorry. But anyways, this says the energy around you shows the abundance of nature. It is rich, earthly, and productive, yet relaxed and slow. So with the Taurian energy coming through as being attached to this Saturn transit through Aquarius, and the retrograde back into Capricorn, there is material gain for you. There's reward coming in for you. And I really feel, Aries, there's a lot of karma that's been resolved through the Capricorn Saturn transit, you know, going back from 2017 leading up to now. You've done a lot of work karmically, which means you've probably had a lot of issues arise in different relationships in your life. And, you know, by the end of 2020, I feel you've resolved all of that, okay? And you're just in a much different place emotionally. And then when Saturn goes retrograde in May, and then moves back into Capricorn, there's a lot of reward coming for all of the hard work, energy, and effort that you put out there. Also, second house energy being ruled by Venus, because seventh house is Libra, second house is Taurus. Both of them are ruled by Venus. Again, that's more relationship energy, and that's also connected to abundance and money and resources coming in. So your relationships and your money, many of you have been working through lessons with this Saturn Capricorn transit, and now you're wrapping that cycle up. You're moving into new lessons, new energies for the Saturn Aquarius transit. But in May, we're gonna go back to the past, and we're gonna spend our time there until December. And that's for you to see things from a different perspective, for you to make a new choice, as well as for you to receive the rewards that are due and owed to you. Ooh, this is pretty deep, Aries. All right, let's pull some cards and look a little deeper at the lessons that you've been working through, or the new energy that you're coming into, kind of a combination of both. Okay. So we have Venus in Sagittarius, flirtation. So there's that Venus energy, and you've been working on that big time through this Saturn Capricorn transit. It has so much to do with your relationships, your emotions, also with the moon. And now we have the moon in Leo, which is appreciation. And this is the energy that you're going to be moving into this from March through May, okay, where this is that understanding, that deeper insight, and a deep healing with the moon being in Leo, and like a reignition of love and tenderness and compassion, you know, filling you up. And it's like everything you've been through, you're finally understanding, and that allows such deep healing that you feel like you're being brought back to life. And now we have a Saturn in Libra. This is devotion. This is the cycle that you're entering with this Aquarius Saturn transit. And interesting, because you have the seventh house, which is ruled by Libra. And so there's more relationship work that you are going to be doing. However, this is a different energy here. You know, what you were working on is flirtation. This is energies that can't fully solidify. You know, there's a lot of fantasy and deception and illusion attached to that. And then here with Saturn in Libra, devotion, this is a whole different energy. This is where things are more solidified, and you're learning and growing through solid connected relationships that you can count on, that are very supportive of you. So you guys have been in a transit of you know, relationship lessons, and this may stem back all the way to when Saturn entered Sagittarius, okay, which would have been, you know, where it was at before 2017, the end of 2017, when it moved into Capricorn. You guys are learning things at a spiritual level, at an emotional level, and, you know, at a mental level. And now it's like time to reap the reward of that through the transit of Aquarius, Saturn moving through Aquarius. And it's not to say you're not learning and growing, but it's a more rewarding, more foundational type of experience. So 2021, 2022, you're going to have a lot of different type of connections than what you've had up to this point. Like, you've resolved your karma, you've learned your soul lessons, and now it's time for you to evolve on to something greater, something more. All right, let's pull some cards about timing and signs and synchronicities. So number 41, the finish, sign 1212. So the finish, you are almost there. Yeah, Aries, once you complete this transit of the Saturn in Capricorn, Saturn in Aquarius is a much, much different world for you. And, you're seeing the number 1212 repeating. That's your spiritual team letting you know you are almost to the end. Like, don't give up, don't give in, don't be weary. You are almost there, and you've been working on a lot of karmic lessons, okay? Now we have imagination, and look at the sign is Aquarius, and there you go. You're wrapping up, tying up loose ends. We've already talked about when Saturn goes retrograde and drops back into Capricorn, but when Saturn moves back direct and gets back into Aquarius, that's when it is game on for you. And here is a sign of that. And this 41 would be a 5, 23 would be a 5. That's things shifting, and for you, the challenge coming to an end. And now we have within 3 months, and in 3 months is when Saturn is going to retrograde. So the retrograding Saturn through Aquarius back into Capricorn is very positive for you, Aries. There's a lot of rewards coming your way, a lot of understanding and clarity coming your way. So it is a good time for you, through the retrograde in 2020, and then when we get to the end of 2020 through 2023 of March, things are a lot different. I'm telling you, in the relationship department, it's like they're more solid, more true, more pure, more honest, more vulnerable. You feel more supported and loved and honored, and this isn't just romance. This is friends, this is family, this is coworkers, finding your soul tribe, feeling like you fit in, things just feeling a lot different for you. And then also some of you, definitely a shift and change, increase to your finances. So let's pull some tarot and look at this in a larger picture for the next 3 years of this Saturn Aquarius transit. So the Empress, that's beautiful. Queen of Cups. Queen of Staves. The Hermit. Four of Cups. Four of Staves. 10 of Coins, Wheel of Fortune, and 2 of Coins. Very nice. So Aries, this really is talking about relationships, and it is strongly aspected with the water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or a fellow fire sign, another Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius. We also have a potential Virgo coming through with this Hermit, but you have been working on relationship issues at the soul level as well as resolving karma. So everything you've been goodness, and excuse me, I don't know why I need to keep clearing my throat through your reading. Maybe that's definitely throat chakra, but maybe there's a lot of things that have been left unsaid. We've got reconciliation here, and through the reconciliation, you know, the unexpressed words are finally going to be spoken from your heart, from another person's heart. And, you know, there's a lot of growing that's happened. And many of you may have been walking alone for a while and you're feeling really bored with this. Like, you know, I want connection, I want closeness, and it's coming, you know, with those forest staves. And you have the Ten of Coins next to the Wheel of Fortune. That's the big time shift and change. You know, 2022 and going into 2023, you are solid, Aries. You are so solid. Through 2021, you know, you are wise. And I kind of feel like things are so stable. You might be a little bored with that, you know, throughout 2021. It's just, you know, there's a lot of trust, there's a lot of love, there's not drama and trauma. It's like everything's going well. So I feel you're very content, you are very secure through 2021. And in 2020, what do we have here? Nothing but people. Okay, we have the Empress, the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Staves. And on the Queen of Staves, we have 3 people figured there. So for me, that's talking about the reconciliations throughout 2020 for you guys, the different relationships that are meant to heal, and you both have grown and like spiritually matured, and you can meet each other on the same frequency now. You see that 2 of Coins there. You can meet each other on the same frequency, okay? So there is a lot of connections going to be resurfacing throughout 2020. And, you know, some of these are to be back in your life, and some of them are for you to get your closure, for you to speak those unsaid words, and so that you can let go and move forward. And some people you may not really want back. You're like, you know what, I'm good. So there's a lot of healing, and it's all around relationships for Aries with this Saturn transit in Aquarius. So let's pull some advice. Oh, and what I meant to say, thank you, Spirit, is Aries, some of you, there's new people coming in as well, okay? It really is that this Saturn transit through Aquarius is such a positive thing for you, and I feel you have done the work and you have learned your lessons, you have cleared that karma, and that's why there's all this stability coming in, this like love and support, because what you're going to be focused on is different, but it's still connected to relationships, but it's more in like a higher frequency of vibration of experiencing each other. And by 2022, that's when the finances look like they're getting really good. Doesn't mean it's not showing up before that, but by 2022, it's looking real good for you, Aries. All right, so we have not meant to be, and this says, don't take it too seriously. If despite your best attempts, the outcome is not what you wish, it was never yours to begin with. The world is full of new opportunities. Self-pity and diminished self-esteem will only obscure your view of what is to come. And so this is a lot of what you're getting clarity about, you know, people that hurt you, people that rejected you, the answers coming in. And some of these people, you know, there is a chance at some sort of reconciliation, and what that means for each of you is obviously different. Okay, let's pull some fortunate advice, some luck that's coming your way through this transit. I mean, we see lots of it, but luck. Look at that. A sudden change of luck is likely. Things are working in your favor. Excellent time for networking. Yes. Aries, this is a good transit for you. Pay attention to what Luna's doing and those eclipses, because that's when a lot of truth and change is going to take place in your life. And again, you know, once Saturn goes retrograde and slips back into Capricorn, there is reward coming there is reward coming to you, and there's you know, a lot of reconciliation. And then as you get to the end of 2020, you're just in a really good space, and that carries with you that energy through 2021 and 2022, at least, you know, until March of 2023. So those are your messages, Aries. I am wishing you all the best. Take care.